Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. In the last video, we learned about how the demand curve can shift either to the right or to the left, even when the price stays the same. But why does this happen and what causes the shift? Today, I will explain the 7 main reasons, also called the determinants of demand. So this is the 7 factors that will influence demand, which is price of related goods, consumers' income, number of population or buyers, expectation about future price, consumers' taste, fashion and preferences, festive seasons, and advertisement. So let's go through them one by one by using simple examples so it's easy to understand. This is our first factor, which is price of related goods. There are 2 types of related goods: complementary goods and substitute goods. We go for the complementary good first. Complementary goods refers to the goods that are usually bought or usually used together. For example, between car and petrol. Okay, when we want to use a car, we need to fill in with the petrol, isn't it? So, car and petrol is a complementary goods. Between pen and ink, if you want to write a notes, okay, by using your pen, it must be ink in your pen. So, they are complementary goods. Between toothbrush and toothpaste, they must be used together when you want to clean your teeth. So, any kind of goods that must be used together or bought together, we categorize it as a complementary goods. We take one example between burger and fries. When we eat burger, we eat together with the fries as the complements. Okay? When the price of burger goes down, okay, so people will buy more burger. Okay? When people buy more burger, okay, they also will buy more fries. Okay, so the demand for fries will goes up, even the price of fries did not change. But we can see here that the demand for fries increase because of decreasing in the price of burger. When we want to draw or we want to show the shift of demand curve for fries, okay, so this is the demand curve for fries. The original demand curve is D0. Okay, because of demand for fries increase, so demand curve will shift rightwards. Okay, or we can use between car and petrol. Okay, when our price of car increases, it means that the price of car getting expensive. It will lead decreasing in the quantity demand of car. Okay, because of car need to use together with the petrol, it will impact our petrol directly. Okay, automatically the demand for petrol will decrease because of the increasing in the price of car. Okay, so the demand of petrol decrease is not because of the price of petrol increase or decrease. So the price did not change, but the demand for petrol decreases due to changes in the price of their complementary goods. So our demand curve for petrol will shift leftwards to the D2. The second goods in our price of related goods is substitute goods. Okay, these substitute goods are goods that can replace each other or can be an alternative product, okay, between these 2 goods. which is if we want to use good A, we also can replace with good B, or alternatively, if we want to use good B, we can alternate with good A. As long as the functions of these two goods are relatively same, the price are not so different, or any characteristic of them are equally same. Okay, for example, we can replace drink of Coke with Pepsi. So Coke and Pepsi are substitute goods. Okay, we can choose to eat our lunch. Either we want to take noodles or rice. So rice and noodles are substitute goods. You can choose either you want to wear skirts or pants to the class. So skirt and pants are substitute goods. You can use pen or pencil to write your notes, or you can use desktop or laptop to do your assignment, isn't it? Now we look at example for car and motorcycles. Okay, if price of car increase, it will lead quantity demanded of car decrease. Okay, alternatively, the people will change to buy the motorcycles, which makes the demand for motorcycles will be increase. We can see that here the demand for motorcycle increases because the price of car increase. So this is a good news for motorcycles. The demand increase even though the price did not change. If we want to show the shift of demand curve for motorcycle, okay, the original demand curve is D0, and when demand increase, demand curve shift rightwards to D1. Okay, the second example we can use, for example, between Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Okay, when price of Coca-Cola decrease, okay, so people will tend to buy more Coca-Cola. So its relevance, okay, it suits with our law of demand. When price decrease, quantity demanded increase. Okay, since most of people buy car, okay, it will give a direct impact to the motorcycles. This one here is cola. Okay, it will give impact to the Pepsi, which is demand for Pepsi will be decrease. Okay, so demand for Pepsi decrease due to decreasing in the price of cola. So our demand curve for Pepsi will shift leftwards to D2. So this is our first factor, price of related goods. The second factors that will influence demand is consumers' income. When people's income increases, they can buy more things. For example, if you get more money, okay, so you might buy more snacks and branded shoes. Okay, so the demand for snacks and branded shoes will increase, demand curve will shift rightwards. Okay, but if the income goes down, so people will buy less and the demand curve will shift leftward. The third factors that influence demand is numbers of buyers or numbers of populations. So the more people there are in the markets, so the higher the demand. Okay, let's say, okay, there is a big concert in the town, KRU concert in Stadium Axiata recently. So when there is a concert, more people, okay, goes to the concert. So more stalls, food stalls, more Grab car demand, more drinks stall, okay, will be there. Okay, so the demand for Grab car, demand for foods, demand for drinks will increase. So this will lead increasing in demand of goods and services. So demand curve will shift rightwards. Okay, but if the population decreases, okay, or when the number of buyers decreases, so the demand will goes down and the curve will shift leftwards. Okay, the fourth factors that influence demand is consumer taste, fashion and preferences. If something becomes more popular, logically the demand for it will goes up. For example, okay, if a TikTok trend, for a certain snacks goes for viral, so suddenly everyone's want to try it, isn't it? So that will make the demand for the product increase and the demand curve will shift rightwards because more people like it now. But if the people, okay, will lose interest towards the product, it will lead decreasing in the demand and the demand curve will shift leftward. Okay, the fifth factors that influence our demand is expectation about future price. Okay, which is sometimes when people will buy more, okay, because people expect the price will goes up in the near future. Okay, example, if you hear that movie ticket prices will increase next week, okay, this one is just our speculation. We expect price of our movie tickets will increase by next week. You might quickly buy a few tickets week. Okay, so the demand increases right now. Okay, so the current demand will increase even though the price has not changed. So our demand curve will shift rightwards. Okay, but when we expect, okay, price will decrease in the next future time, so it will lead decreasing in the current time. Okay, the demand in the current time will be decreased because we hold our purchase to get more cheaper price in the next year time, okay, ataupun next week time or next month times. Okay, so this will causes our demand curve to shift leftwards. Okay, the six factors that influence our demand is festive seasons and climate. Okay, which is during certain seasons people will tend to buy more specific goods. Okay, so these factors will influence a selected items only. For example, during Hari Raya, okay, during Hari Raya, demand for cookies, demand for baju kurung, demand for baju Melayu, demand for decorative lights will goes up. So our demand curve will shift rightwards. But right after end of Hari Raya season, okay, end of Hari Raya season, there is out season time. So the demand for baju kurung, demand for baju Melayu, demand for cookies, okay, will goes down. So our demand curve will shift leftwards. Or during rainy season, okay, during rainy season, so the demand for umbrellas, demand for jackets will increase. So demand curve for umbrella will shift leftwards and there will be a vice versa. Okay, and the last factors that will influence our demand is advertisement. Okay, good advertisement can make people want to buy a product even if they did not before. Okay, if a new product is well promoted on Instagram or YouTube or on TikTok, review. So more people will become more interested and the demand will be increased. This will only happen when they get a good review of the product. Okay, so the demand will increase and demand curve will shift leftwards. Okay, but if the new product are presented by the bad way ataupun by the annoyed advertisement or by the bought advertisement, so it will makes the demand decrease even there is no changes in the price. Okay, so the increasing in the demand or decreasing in the demand also will be affected by advertisement. Okay, so let's recap. What is the 7 main factors that shift our demand curve? This is the 7 factors, which is price of related goods, consumers' income, number of population or buyers, expectation about future price, consumers' taste, fashion and preferences, festive seasons, and advertisement. Remember, all of these can increase or decrease demand even if the price of the product stays the same.